10 years ago, one of the most shocking events in all of K-pop went down. September 30th is marked as the day that, out of nowhere, Jessica was removed from Girls' Generation. So let's revisit this infamous piece of K-pop's culture and see how Jessica overcame it. Jessica made her debut as a main vocalist of Girls' Generation in 2007, with the legendary track Into the New World. Being among the 3 most famous members of the biggest girl group of their era, she quickly became one of the most popular idols of the second generation.
Oh, Jessica! Jessica, 봐라, Jessica!
And over time started to expand her career, debuting as an actress, reality show personality, collaborating with other artists, singing OSTs, and etc. Until in August of 2014, she took it to a whole new level and launched her fashion brand called Blanc and Eclair, being the first K-pop idol to ever do so. When asked about the group's plans for a comeback during an interview, Tiffany explained,
"We just wrapped up our arena tour with Girls' Generation, all 9 of us, and each of our members are slowly going into their solo or designing."
As she mentioned Jessica's work as a designer, it seemed like everyone was okay with her launching the brand. The interview was during the 2014 K-Con. Jessica almost cried on the stage of the event, and the performance turned out to be the last of Girls' Generation. Not as OT9 as Soo-young was not present, but the last having Jessica as a member, which was not expected at all. She was in promotional video messages announcing fan meetings that would only take place in November. It was confirmed that following the expiration of their 7-year contract signed in 2007, all the 9 members made the decision to renew their contracts with SM for 3 more years. The company stated that the members would focus on solo activities, backing up what Tiffany said during the K-Con interview. But a few days later, to be more specific, on September 30th, Jessica took the K-pop world by surprise at only 5 a.m., announcing through her Weibo account that she had been forced out of Girls' Generation. Jessica broke the internet after she made the following posts. "I was excited about our upcoming fan events, only to shockingly be informed by my company and 8 others that as of today, I'm no longer a member. I'm devastated. My priority in love is to serve as a member of GG. But for no justifiable reason, I am being forced out. You guys are very special people that I love dearly. Therefore, you deserve to hear the truth from me. I'm deeply saddened and hurt by those who I trusted, and hope that you don't ever have to experience this kind of pain." Hours later, the other 8 members were seen at an airport in China heading to a fan meeting in Shenzhen, making SM stocks suffer a 3.44% drop compared to the previous day. The company then released an official statement that read, "This spring, due to her personal situation, Jessica said she would stop group activities after 1 more album." Despite Jessica's sudden statement, Jessica and the Girls' Generation members continued to work hard and carefully think over so that the team can continue to work in the best direction. However, recently, with Jessica starting her fashion business, while there was a lack of specific mediation regarding the interests and prioritization of Girls' Generation's activities, a situation has been reached where the team cannot be maintained despite continued discussion. As such, we could only pull up the plan for Girls' Generation's activities as 8 members. And while we were discussing the timing of the announcement, Jessica wrote the message in her own perspective earlier today. "We plan to continue to support and manage Jessica's individual activities and Girls' Generation's activities as 8 members." Jessica released a statement of her own through her fashion company. "On September 29th, I was informed that I would be leaving Girls' Generation. This has caused me a great deal of shock and sadness, so I would like to tell my side of the story. Girls' Generation activities have always taken priority over my private life and business activities. In spite of my hard work, though, the agency has asked me to leave the group. During my business dealings, I have always taken care to inform SM and the other members of the group about my activities, and have always asked for their understanding in this matter. I had received permission from SM, and this agreement lasted until the beginning of August. When I was setting Blanc up, the other members of the group had also offered me their congratulations on this matter. That changed in September, though. A month after Blanc had been launched, the other members of the group had a change of heart at a meeting of the other 8 members. It was decided that I would be told to either turn my back on my business or leave the group. I told them that I had already received SM's permission for my business activities and that they had never interfered with my work with Girls' Generation. I also said that I had signed a contract with a business partner and could not back out of my commitments after only 1 month. I said that it was unfair to force me into making a decision such as this. Joining Girls' Generation is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I had never thought about quitting. I approached the SM management on September 16th to ask for clarification. At this meeting, I was told that I still had the company's blessing to continue with my business activities. On September 29th, though, I was given a notice informing me that I was no longer a member of the group. Because of this fact, I was absent from the fan meeting event in China on September 30th. I have also been left out of all further group activities. I have put 15 years of hard work and dedication into Girls' Generation, and it has caused me a lot of pain. I cannot hide how sad I am that I was asked by the agency and the other members of the group to leave, just because I wanted to start my own business. I want to say sorry to the fans who have been worried by all this. I hope that they will understand that this is not the way I wanted things to happen. I have always valued Girls' Generation, and always will. The fan meeting in Shenzhen was held on that same day. Jessica's parts were sung by fans. Who also started to scream her name at the end of the event. Followed by Sohyun starting to cry. SM's claim about managing Jessica's solo activities after her withdrawal ended up not being true. Her career was on hold for almost an entire year. On the other hand, Girls' Generation made their first release as 8 members in April of 2015 with the single Catch Me If You Can. 1 month after it came out, it was discovered that Jessica was supposed to be a part of the comeback, as the original music video featuring her was leaked online. After discussions with the company, Jessica left SM on August. The label reported that things between both sides had ended amicably, but Jessica and Girls' Generation never properly addressed each other again.
I trained for 7 years, and my debut album was when I was 18 with a girl band.
9명으로 한다고 뭐라는 거야? 뭐라는 거야? 이게 왜 이래? 8명이 한다고 했을 때 제가 원하는 거는 약간 다른 멤버 얘기를 제가 좀 많이 하긴 했지만 얘기를 해도 돼. 나간 사람 얘기도 어차피 손해시되니까.
Earlier this year, Hyoyeon said Jessica's name before ending a live stream after a viewer left a comment with her former group mate's name.
때 컴백 나도 기다리고 있어. 안녕. 제시카 정씨 안녕.
Marking the first time in almost a decade that one side has mentioned the name of the other in front of the camera, along with the attempt to erase her from the history of her former group. Jessica's career was never the same again after she left SM. In February of 2016, Jessica signed with Cordell Entertainment, that was established in 2015 by her boyfriend Tyler Kwon, to officially start her solo music career, debuting in May with the EP titled With Love Jay, and title track Fly featuring the rapper Fabulous. Coincidentally or not, Jessica's ex-member, Tiffany, who was still under SM at the time, also debuted as a soloist in May of 2016, which obviously led to a lot of comparison and competition, making fans believe it was a strategy made by SM, since Jessica announced the date of her debut first. With Love, Jay peaked at number 1 in South Korea, and Fly at number 4, which are great numbers, especially considering the lack of promotion it had. Jessica never performed at any music show. She had broadcast activities scheduled at first, but out of nowhere, they were one-sidedly canceled. Her name was even removed from an Inkigayo poll, that according to fans, she was leading at some point, but Jessica ended up placing 3rd on that week and never receiving a music show win. In December, during a fan meeting, a fan asked Jessica if she didn't want to go on music shows, and this was her response.
음악 방송이 저도 음악 방송 출연하고 싶어요. 네. 그렇게 얘기하면 알아들을까?
Despite the evident blacklist, Jessica continued with her solo career doing the best she could. In April of 2017, she was included in the 30 Under 30 Asia list of Forbes, which comprises 30 influential celebrities under 30 years old who have made substantial effect in their fields. In November, she made her first variety show appearance since she left Girls' Generation. On the show Mix 9 of YG, she was asked by a cast member why she was off TV for 3 years, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere as everyone in the room, who were all industry professionals, knew the answer. He then joked that if they were on SBS, she would be in trouble. But since Mix 9 airs on JTBC, a cable channel, she was all good. He also asked Jessica if she would take Mix 9 as an opportunity to appear more on TV, and she responded that she wished she could do that. Until last year, it was common to see different rumors and fake news involving her and even her sister Crystal being spread with the intention of ruining their image. For example, when the group that controls Jessica's agency and fashion brand were involved in legal disputes in which Jessica had no control over, but it was always her name and face that were on the news as if she was the one responsible. In September of 2020, Jessica published the book titled Shine. The book is inspired by her experiences in the K-pop industry and tells the story of the fictional character Rachel Kim, who's a 17-year-old trainee. She said that the book is fiction and not an autobiography or a tell-all story, and it's up to the reader to decide the line between fact and fiction. She told the media outlet Time that the book was like an Easter egg hunt, looking for clues and who's who, what's what, what's true, what's not. After reading Shine, fans noticed many coincidences between the main character and Jessica herself. Both have a younger sister who works on the same industry. Both started training to become an idol at the age of 11. Both emigrated from the United States to South Korea, and many others. On the sequel, titled Bright, that was published in 2022, Rachel is kicked out of the 9-member girl group called Girls Forever by the members Lizzie and Mina after she launched her own fashion line. The group was under the company DB Entertainment, a powerful company that blacklists their own artists and forces them to sign a 7-year contract with a 3-year renewal. One of the excerpts from the book reads, "When year 7 comes along, DB will put out a simple press release and make it look like we've all just decided to remain a happy family for 3 more years, when in reality that decision had been made long ago, when we were trainees and had no say in the matter." Bright caused a huge stir online and made the public create several theories, believing that Jessica is actually telling her version of the story through the book, as she probably can't talk about what really happened publicly. Last year, Jessica went on a podcast, and we heard her talk about her departure for the first time ever.
You know, I try to put the past behind me, and I always try to look at the brighter things, brighter side. Of course, that time was one of the darkest times of my life, darkest period of my life. But I had my family and friends to really support me, and my fans were always there. And, you know, I didn't feel alone, and I felt like, you know, it was a good transitioning period and good time for me to grow up.
She handled the topic very well, and despite not giving any details or revealing any of the several mysteries involving her withdrawal, it was still considered an historic moment that we thought we would never witness. From 2018 to 2021, Jessica stayed away from music again. That is until 2022. In May, she was announced as one of the cast members of the 3rd season of the Chinese reality competition show, Sisters Who Make Waves. The show featured 30 female celebrities over 30 years old, who competed to debut in the 10-member group X-Sister, that would split in 2 to each debut a different variety show. Jessica's popularity in China was always big. She has promoted there several times over the years, and already was the celebrity with the most members on the country's fan chave, Sisters Who Make Waves 3 was a big hit. It had overall more than 6 billion views on its platform, Mango TV, and Jessica was one of the most popular contestants of the show. After she hit the stage for the first time in years during the show's third episode, the topic Jessica Jung is Back reached the #1 spot on China's biggest platform, Weibo, and surpassed 200 million readers in just 29 hours. Jessica placed second on Sisters Who Make Waves and debuted the show Seaside Band, that has reached more than 1 billion views. Thanks to the huge success she was met with, Jessica's career continues focused in China, snatching various brand endorsements, being awarded at prestigious ceremonies, appearing on highly rated shows, performing at big festivals. Even as a headliner, being the first K-pop soloist to do so, she created a name for herself in China that goes beyond being a former Girls' Generation member, and the public can't get enough of her. Her official comeback to music happened in 2023 with the title track and EP Bibi, her first in 6 years. Jessica is credited as the producer, creative director, and stylist for the EP that contains songs in both Korean and English. For some reason, the comeback was not aimed at the Chinese market and had zero promotion, but it still gave Jessica the best first-day album sales of her entire career, with over 50,000 physical copies sold within the first 24 hours of its release. The EP debuted and peaked at #6 in South Korea. Weeks ago, it completed 17 years since Jessica debuted, and her fans, Golden Stars, celebrated by filling the sky of Seoul with drones and fireworks.